The views expressed on this show, interview, or program are not necessarily the views expressed by the ZNS Radio Network and by extension, the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
Good morning, good morning. Welcome to Junkanoo 242. Yes, you are in the E-Shack this morning. You are up and alive. Give thanks. Good morning to all of our family islands. You guys out there having a wonderful holiday weekend. I know there's a lot of celebrations going on with the family of islands, but I know you're tuned in to Junkanoo 242 this morning. Good morning to everybody that's tuning on the radio, Facebook. We are here in the V Shack. Good morning. Good morning, Barefoot. How you doing?
Good morning, Darren. I'm good, man. How you been?
Man, I am enjoying it. This a Power Park weekend that's coming up. Junkanoo Summerfest, Fox Hill. I mean, everybody out to all the various different islands, man. Just an exciting weekend this morning.
Yeah, folks are spread out all across the country, man.
Yes, definitely. You can see my other two partners in the shack. Well, you can imagine where one is and where the next one is, right? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But like you said, folks all over the country. I mean, activities going on in Black Point, Exuma, and Roosevelt, Exuma, in Tarpon Bay, Lustra, in Hatchet Bay, Lustra, in Rumkey and Port Nelson and the Berry Islands, in Auckland, in Nagua, and then of course here in New Providence, you've got the Fox Hill Festival kicking in today. You've got the Gambia Festival on Monday. You've got Junkanoo Summer Festival today. So those in New Providence have no need to be jealous of them in the islands. Nothing New Providence for them to do.
Man, this is an exciting weekend and there's a lot to do. There's a lot to be a part of. You know, we're going to talk about that a little bit in our show too. But before we get started any deeper in the show, let's get started like we do with our prayer. Heavenly Father, for the gift of life, we give you thanks. For our nation, we pray for peace, progress, prosperity and principle, recovery and restoration. For ourselves, we pray for wisdom to use your gifts wisely, especially the gift of Junkanoo, so that we may honor you, serve your people, build better communities and a better Bahamas and a better world. Amen. Proud to be Bahamian. Man, before I get into any local updates, I would say that there is a team that is representing us all the way in England at the 22nd Commonwealth Games, Ronald.
Yes.
And I am excited to see what those guys and ladies are going to do over there because you know every time we go to some track meet or some event, we always come back with medals and show very impressively. So I'm very excited to see what's going to happen over there. And of course, I mean, proud to be Bahamians locally is this celebration of Emancipation Day weekend. I think that it is taking hold in a lot more people, and we're starting to see the celebrations. Of course, you know, the big one, I would say the big one is that Fox Hill, you know, celebration in that community. We have a lot of regattas and homecomings going on, like you listed them before the prayer. It's happening everywhere, Ronald, everywhere.
There are activities all across this country this weekend. There's an opportunity for everybody to get involved and enjoy themselves. But more importantly, there's an opportunity for people who are traveling throughout this country and in New Providence to learn something new, to enrich themselves about the viability of the Bahamas as a country, about the things that make the Bahamas unique as a people. And I always caution them, and I say it again, when you go to these islands and explore and find something new, don't just go for the party, go for
Hmm.
the experience. And a part of the experience is the exploration of the island, learning about the sights and the sounds and the indigenous people and the differences that the islands have that make them all different.
And you are so correct. As I listened to the the culture caravan before our show, and you were speaking to I think it's Hope who was down there in Rum Key.
Yes.
Man, she bragging about how she barefoot down there in the sun all day, man.
You know,
So,
one of the things that make us proud here at the corporation, ZNS Radio in particular, is the fact that we're able to bridge all of these islands simultaneously. We have a presence in Rumkey this morning. Primetime Dion is over in Rollville. Cassidy and I'm mad at Cassidy because he in Cat Island and I wish I was in Cat Island, right? We've got Fisher, I believe, in Black Point from the sports department. Amajal Knowles is in another island. And collectively, we bring all this information to the country
mhm.
on a real-time basis. We all over, no other corporation, no other broadcast
Then,
entity in this country
yeah.
has the ability to do that.
Yeah, and I want to say you guys are doing a phenomenal job. Listening to the reports, and it's like you're right there on the island. Like you
Yes.
say, you won't be in Cat Island too, but we can't put you in Cat Island because you could be busy eating flour cake all day. You understand? And God help us if you hook up with Angelique down there, then ain't
Oh,
no work getting done in Cat Island.
yeah, yeah. That would have been a tough.
So yeah, so we gotta keep you here in Nassau. But folks, we have another show that's Power Pack show that's lined up for you guys. Exciting topic we're going to be discussing. We're going to run to our first break, and when we get back, we'll introduce that topic to you. You're tuning in to Junkanoo 242. We'll see you on the next side of the break.
Up early for today's Mix and Match specials. Get all your school uniforms, neckties, socks, shorts, character towels, raincoats, umbrellas, colorful backpacks, underclothes, and tights. Mix and match 4 school shirts, free monogrammed or regular, and get one free. Yes, free. Mix and match 2 skirts, jumpers, or pants, and get the third one 50% off. Today's COVID-19 customer recovery assistance. Relaxed restrictions, allowing mix and match. WhatsApp 817-3295 or go online at www.denays.com.
G Sports and Lounge, Gilbert's Plaza, New Cat Island, open daily from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Specializing in pool tables, hookah, bucket, and tower drink specials available. Friday night, ladies' night, Saturday, dance hall, Sunday, game and karaoke night. Give them a call today at 242-814-2267 or 242-395-6476. Stack Conch Stand located New Bite Beach, Cat Island. Voted best conch salad in town. Specializing in conch salad, tropical conch salad, cracked conch, scorch, mix, drinks, beers, etc. Try our Sky Juice. Just ask for Duke at the Culture Village. Regatta site. Call 242-474-2384.
You hear that? That's unlimited WhatsApp with VTC prepaid combos.
Music to my ears. I can do everything in it?
Yep, do all you want without using data. So all your pics, gifts, stickers, voice notes, voice calls, docs, and even video calls are included. Do all you want with unlimited WhatsApp in any BTC prepaid combo. Enjoy it with unlimited talk and rollover data when you activate a combo starting at $12. Dial star 203 pound to activate today. Conditions apply.
From the Junkanoo archives on the Junkanoo timeline, the year was 2013. At the event, to mark the 50th anniversary of Dr. Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech, the Junkanoo Commandos from the Bahamas performed on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. Another exciting moment on the Junkanoo timeline. Welcome back. The blistle blow, the whistle blow, and we are all lined up and ready for this segment of our show, the rollover. This morning in the E-Shack with me, well, we got Barefoot in the E-Shack, and my other two hosts, one is on Awaki, the next one just missing somewhere. They're probably going to pop in at any time during the show. We don't know. But guess what? What that does is that gives me a chance to talk to you guys. A dialogue. We can have a dialogue on a variety of things, but what we want to focus in on is that, guess what? Junkanoo is returning back to Bay Street after a 2-year hiatus off of Bay. And Boxing Day and New Year's is being planned for, and the parades will be underway. We want to know, what are you looking forward to in the upcoming parades? Ronald, what's the working phone lines for me so we can get these people calling in and telling us about what they are expecting to see, what they are anticipating, in the upcoming parades?
They can call us on 325-5404 or on our toll-free line 1242-300-8255.
Yes, and go ahead, sorry.
325-5404 or 1242-300-8255.
Yes, and we're not just talking about NASA. We're talking about anywhere that there's a Junkanoo parade that has not been going on for the last 2 years. What are you excited about? What is happening? What are you anticipating in Freeport? What are you anticipating in Eleuthera and all the other islands as it returns back Boxing Day and New Year's? I know that there are some people. It has been rumored that there are some groups that have already, they have started preparations long before, for these upcoming parades. And so they've been putting in preparations, putting in plans so they can give an impressive presentation, as they come to execute.
They said they did that because they knew the day would come again.
So they know, even though it may have ceased for a little while, they know a time has come where the drum is going to start beating again to go on bait.
They say nothing lasts forever.
And Ronald, you are so correct. We have things in this community, and one of the things that we always say that Junkanoo is the heartbeat of people, and regardless of this nation, and regardless of how it may have stopped formally in a parading fashion, or we know it's coming back. And if there's any indication as to what to expect in terms of crowd size and anticipation from the road parades that have been happening, it's going to be interesting to see what happens on Boxing Day in terms of who shows up in those stands and to line the streets.
I think the People's Rush during Independence gave you an indication of the kind of crowd that will be flocking to Bay Street for the Boxing Day and the New Year's Day parade. I think it also gave you an indication of the possibility of what will happen in Fox Hill come Sunday night. And that traditional Emancipation Day rush, it's going to be, for 2 years, the rank and file Bahamian have been without this celebration. They've been anticipating it. They've been looking forward to it. And they're going to turn out en masse to be able to partake of it.
Yes, and Ronald, you are correct, because even with from the Independence Day rush, and from what we also see every Saturday on our Waki with the Junkanoo Summerfest, the people are there. The people are on the sides of the barricades, and they waiting, buddy. They want to hear Junkanoo. All right, and it is it's a good feeling to see that thirst for that culture is there, and it is building even more and anticipating as we get closer and closer to those formal parades. If you want to call in, let us know what you're anticipating. 325-5404, 1242-300-8255. Let us know if you want to drop us a comment. Leave us a comment. Let us know on Facebook what you're anticipating in the upcoming Boxing Day and New Year's Day parades. I want to see what I want to see. One of the things I'm looking forward to is Nervous Saturday. I'm looking forward to that because I want to see what presentations groups are gonna bring out Boxing Day and New Year's after being away from it for 2 years. You've had a lot of time to do some thinking. You've had a lot of time to do some thought processes, but also too, we've also had a lot of good themes that came out of being in this 2 year hiatus. So I'm interested to see what themes and presentations they're gonna present to us as we hear those synopses on Nervous Saturday. What about you, Ronald?
I didn't get that. I had to take a call, so please repeat that.
No, I say I'm interested in seeing the themes for the groups. As we've been locked down for 2 years, there's a lot of thought process that went into what they're gonna present to the public in terms
Yeah.
of theming and presentation and everything. And I want to see, how they're gonna bring these things. Because I'm not saying that they're gonna bring something that we recognize or we're familiar with, because it's even the perception. But I'm interested to see what themes we're gonna see behind these banners. What about you?
I just hope we don't see a clash of the COVID teams come to Main Street. Everybody tell the COVID to do, man.
But interesting enough is how you bring that theme. It is how you bring that theme, man. Because COVID, well, Bastian said before we even logged on that's his theme. So I don't know.
I think you can make a very interesting presentation. And like you
Yes.
said, the way it is presented will make the difference.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, it may not be too far-fetched. We've talked over time about the possibility of a common theme for the parade.
Yes.
This may be a good time to test that to see where it goes, It would be a good time.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think what we take for granted is the creativity that resonates in all of us, and especially in the Junkanoo community. When you talk about one theme or bringing one theme and how it can actually be perceived and the different perspectives that it can come from.
I always remember the quincentennial parade of, I think, 91 or 92. There was a common theme, but everybody approached it from a different angle, and it made for a brilliant parade.
Yes. So that is one of the things I'm interested. It has me thinking on, boy, I wonder what they could bring out this year, because it. I also wondering is that are they? I think there's an anticipation of getting back to Bay, but there's also an anticipation of that competition. They really are. I think this is going to be a highly competitive parade. Very competitive.
No doubt it will be, because everybody want to show their wares after a 3 year absence. So it's indeed going to be filled with competition. But I think in the spirit of the competition, we have to be mindful, as we've been talking for several weeks now. We have to be mindful of the preservation of the culture and the integrity of what it is we're doing.
Yes, definitely. It's something that we have to be intentional about. With theming and presentation and everything. I am of the opinion that one of the things that we could use this Junkanoo platform for is, addressing social issues or getting social points across to the public on how we bring it with our theming. We've seen groups just bring it. I mean, even the defending champions, the Saxons, did it with their cancer theme, to send a message and bring awareness to something that's affecting all of us. And we've seen other groups do it at various different things. And I think, even with keeping with that, like you saying, a lot of the traditions and stuff, we could approach it from that angle. One of the next things is that I want us to get very intentional about the pasting and the use of paper and crepe paper, and using that fringe to produce our costumes. A lot of people are clamoring, saying that the money isn't there for sponsorship for a lot of groups as it has been, and that's expected. But I think we don't take that as to say, oh, we can't use what we have in terms of the paper and using that fringe to give us that look that, that's unique to us, you know. So I think that that is something that we take advantage of during this time and actually be intentional about it.
I dare say that if we stick to the traditional form of the art, it will reduce the cost. You know, the funds expended are not expended. The crepe paper and the real cost of Junkanoo in today's world is those other stuff, you know, the beads and the rods and the trinkets and whatnot. It's not the crepe paper that's the expense, but the crepe paper is the core of the artistry of Junkanoo.
Yes, that is one of the uniqueness. That is one of the, that separates our festival from everywhere else. And I agree with you. I agree with you that, the money that is exerted, in abundance is all of the other trinkets that actually come after the crepe paper
Yeah.
and, that raw material that we use it. I think also too, what it will do for us, it allows us to highlight that uniqueness. If you have a lot more of that on the parade itself,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you
Well, now
know,
the question is, can we now, as a collective, as a Junkanoo collective, through the JCNP or whatever other body there may be, can we collectively sit down and determine in the best interest of the art form, we can do away with X, Y, and Z? Can we get to that? That's the challenge.
boy, you suck.
Because
It's I think one day, and I think it can be done. I think what needs to be addressed is what is the goal? What are we trying to accomplish? And if we all sit to the table and realize that here are some unique features that separate us from everybody else in the world, and these are things we need to treasure and protect. I think we can, all calm heads prevailing and remembering that yes, we still could produce a product that's unique to us and be competitive among ourselves.
but
But
are
we,
there sufficient of us who are concerned with the preservation of the art as opposed to the competition of the presentation?
that's a tough one. That's a tough one. That's a tough one because what I have found is a lot of people who are passionate about the preservation of the art is that they sit down and they take a back seat instead
Mhm.
of standing up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what happens is the people who aren't as passionate about these unique features are the people who are in the front, who are quote unquote saying this is what the people want. Or so while the passionate people are sitting down, and I would say if those people were to stand up and be more active and vocal about some things, I think we could see some changes. We have a lot of people that feel the way we do, Ronald, but
Yeah.
they don't say anything because I realize that a lot of them have hit challenges before. And it's like what has happened is like you see with a lot of other organizations or in a lot of other things, you'll have a disagreement in a group, and for whatever reason, they'll leave the group instead of trying to work it out. It's not gonna go your way every time, but if you keep on leaving, then it will never happen.
I
So
think
I feel
go
go
ahead,
ahead.
sorry.
I think a lot of people have been discouraged and they've just sat back and they say, you know what? Yeah, y'all do what y'all want.
I think another major part of the hurdle we face is the fact that perhaps the majority of the participants of Junkanoo today don't even know what we're talking about because they
Boy,
didn't live it. They didn't live it. They were not introduced to it. They only know what they know, and what they know was way beyond that art form we're talking about. You know, when you look at a timeline, we haven't been creating costumes in our traditional form and pasting in the traditional form for at least 25 years now.
ah,
So
that,
so so a lot of these present day bucks and junkanoo don't even know what they're talking about. They don't know how to paste. They don't know how to cut paper because it was never part of their introduction to junkanoo. And that's why I have said over the years, and I've gotten trouble for saying over the years, that Junior Junkanoo was a farce. Junior Junkanoo was intended initially to be
mhm.
the feeder system for the Junkanoo parade, the senior parade, but it was never practiced in that manner. We started introducing all these other materials and allowing them to be able to use all these other materials, and that's all they know. That's what they came up knowing.
And okay, and so that, and what it lends to is that that is not the true reflection as to
No,
what they should be learning to
no.
transition to into the senior parade.
And to compound matters, we say that the parades will be judged on this criteria: X amount of crepe paper, X amount of this. Well, I mean, crepe paper is probably the least amount of material that is being used in Junkanoo now, when I believe it's supposed to be a 60% or something like that ratio.
Yes, you are
You're
correct.
lucky if crepe paper is 10% of what's being used in Junkanoo today.
Boy, I can tell you there needs to be. I'm looking to see what this parade is going to look like, because I think this parade is going to set the tone for what we see going forward. And so I'm very interested to see theming. I'm interested to see, production of costumes, the techniques that are used, and what people are gonna say, you know what, yeah, that look pretty, but no, we ain't doing that because, that ain't us. So I'm
This
very
parade,
interested to see.
this parade gonna look just like the other parades of the immediate past have been looking. Carnival, 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 carnival. Beads, feathers, cloth. They ain't gonna change tomorrow.
Yeah, but I think over time, I think if we be intentional about it, we can see some changes. I think we so. I always say, I tell a lot of people who I've come in contact with, I know a lot of people who have been a part of, the JCNP as reps for various different groups and stuff like that. And they say, well, Darren, you're wasting your time, ain't nothing to change. And I tell them, well, if you keep leaving, how you expect anything to change? I think we have a good thing going. One of the things in the JCMP is that it consists of members from all the organizations that participate in the parades. And what that does is that we're all at the table. We're all seeing some of our problems, but we're also seeing some of our wins. One of the things is that we're in control of what happens on Bay Street. And I think that is a good thing. So it's something that we should, we could commend that organization for. But of course, there's some things that needs to change. There's some things that needs to be adjusted. I agree wholeheartedly. But I
You know
think it's
what?
going to take, some intent. It's going to take some intent, and it's going to take some more people standing up. You can't just shout from the sidelines, oh, this need to change. But when it's time to come in the room, everybody keeping their mouth closed.
One of the things I've been saying for the past many years now is Junkanoo is his own greatest enemy. They're their own biggest enemy. Because they can't agree on nothing that they ain't gonna get them to win. If it can't get them to win,
No
they
way.
can't agree on nothing. No.
No, but okay, you got a good point. So I think so. Do you think it's the win, or it's something as good as the win that has that meaning?
What's the motivation in Junkanoo today for Junkanoo groups? What's the
Yeah, to
motivation?
win. That bragging rights. That
Okay,
win.
okay. Now and win at any cost. Win
Yes,
at
which
any
is
cost. They sit down collectively and they make the rules to govern Junkanoo, right?
mhm.
And they be the first one to break them rules to win.
We have, and speaking about that, the rules committee they had a meeting on Monday. They're still in the process of finalizing those rules or adjusting them as for the parades as we know it,
Okay, the rules
coming
committee
forward.
of Junkanoo, the rules committee of Junkanoo don't enforce no rules. They just make the rules, and then they let the judges determine that this can go.
Okay,
Who's responsible? The rules committee or Junkanoo or the judges?
okay,
If
give
the
me.
judges bring you a ruling that goes against your rules, then that ruling got to get thrown out, man. No, where y'all going with this? It contravenes the rules of Junkanoo. Junkanoo say you must have this, you must have that. This ain't make up of this, and this ain't make up of that. This
Got
out,
you.
this can't fly. We gotta take some hard stance, man.
Boy, Ronald, you need, I'm telling you, you need people who have that passion there, saying exactly and seeing through the lens as to what you see. I think what we have is a treasured event, is a treasured gem that we have. I think we still could do a lot more with it, and we think we're gonna do a lot more with it. But they have to see, what is the goal and what we're trying to achieve. As I said earlier, I'm looking forward to see what we do in theming this year. I'm looking forward for the presentations that happen this year. One of the next things I'm happy about, and you're probably going to start screaming about this, is music. The music presentations that are coming to Bay Street. I think for me, I look as Junkanoo as a platform to propel our Bahamian culture forward. It's for us to showcase our artistry, our color, our design, our creativity, our music, our dance. And so with that being said, that platform should be used to showcase those things indigenous to us. And that's not to say that they cannot add some things or have different elements in it. But I think we should be seeing things showcasing us that we're proud of, that makes us Bahamian. And so music is going to be another hot a hot button item that we're looking at because, buddy, everybody right now, they're showing off what they're doing in the road when it comes to that music department, runner.
Yeah, but I'm a little disheartened personally of what I see happening with the music of Junkanoo. Um, my concept of the music of Junkanoo, it should be a dance music, a happy music. Okay, we got
Mm-hmm.
marching bands, man. We got these 100, 200 piece marching bands, and they sound like an American marching band. They sound like no Junkanoo people having fun no more. I mean, I don't have a challenge with their arrangement. I think there are many talented young men and women in the art of Junkanoo music now. But I
Mm-hmm.
think they're adapting, just like we've done with the costumes, they're adapting too much of the American marching band standards as opposed to Junkanoo performing standards.
Ronald, we started to talk about this last week, and I want to dive into this. But let's run to our break because I want to ask you a question on this, and especially because of your musical background, I want to pick your brain on this, and get some people, thinking. We're gonna run to our break, folks. When we get back, we're gonna pick up the topic. What are you waiting to see on Bay Street this year? Boxing Day and New Year's. What's the anticipation about? You can call us if you want to chime in on this conversation, 325-5404, or on the toll-free number 1242-300-8255. We'll be right back.
Shop early for Janae's Mix and Match specials. Get all your school uniforms, neckties, socks, shorts, character towels, raincoats, umbrellas, colorful backpacks, underclothes, and tights. Mix and match 4 school shirts, pre-monogrammed or regular, and get one free. Yes, free. Mix and match 2 skirts, jumpers, or pants, and get the third one 50% off. Janae's COVID-19 customer recovery assistance. Relaxed restrictions, allowing mix and match. WhatsApp 817-3295 or go online at www.janae's.com.
You hear that? That's unlimited WhatsApp with BTC prepaid combos.
Music to my ears. I can do everything in it?
Yep, do all you want without using data. So all your pics, gifts, stickers, voice notes, voice calls, docs, and even video calls are included. Do all you want with unlimited WhatsApp in any BTC prepaid combo. Enjoy it with unlimited talk and rollover data when you activate a combo starting at $12. Dial star 203 pound to activate today. Conditions apply.
Respect the sign. When vehicles without an accessible parking permit use a parking space designated for persons with disabilities, even for just a minute, that's 60 seconds too long. The abuse of accessible parking spaces is a daily frustration for persons with disabilities. It is inconsiderate, insensitive, and hinders persons with disabilities from effectively conducting business and actively participating in community life. Never park in a space reserved for people with disabilities unless you have a permit to do so. It is the right and respectful thing to do. This message is brought to you by the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities, a unit in the Ministry of Social Services and Community Development. For more information, visit www.disabilitiescommissionbahamas.org.
From the Junkanoo Library, filed under E for Emancipation. The Abolition Act of 1833 decreed that slavery was officially abolished in most of the British Empire on August 1st, 1834. However, only slaves below the age of 6 were freed, and all slaves over the age of 6 were termed apprentices and were not finally freed until 1838. In the Bahamas, we have commemorated this event each year ever since, a yearly reminder to treasure our freedoms. And in the spirit of resistance to slavery by our ancestors, we celebrate in the African historic township of Fox Hill with our Junkanoo, a treasured tradition. Welcome back. You're tuned into Junkanoo 242, the whistle blow, and we're all lined up. Now it's time for our first lap. I think we have a phone caller on the line. Good morning.
Mr. Farndon, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. You asked the question, what I like to see.
What you looking forward to?
The participators of Junkanoo don't take the spectators for granted.
Okay,
Don't
go
think
ahead.
that the spectators will always be there.
Elaborate on that just for me, just a little bit more.
Hello?
Yes, I'm listening.
Yeah, like take case in point. The Independence Junkanoo. After colors went down, the next group took 40 minutes to go down.
Okay.
Why would a group take 40 minutes and not even the official parade? Why would they take 40 minutes? But
Okay.
they know the people out there. They know the people eager for Junkanoo. So they say, oh, they say to be there, don't worry about them. But why should it take 40 minutes for next group to go down?
Okay, so you're talking about the flow of the parade. You come out there at the parade, you come out there, people, not only are people are expecting you, other groups are expecting to participate. Don't come out there and hold up the parade. Don't take that parading for granted.
Yes. And see, they taking the spectators for granted. They figure, oh, spectators can always be there. Don't care how long we take or what we do.
I got you. All right. Anything else you're looking forward to see?
Let me understand his question. Are you talking about the time it took the group to parade the route, or the time between two groups?
The time between two groups.
Okay.
When colors went down, the next group started 40 minutes later.
40 minutes later. Yeah, that's too long.
Yeah, there was a mishap with the group that were coming. I understand what he's talking about.
All right, so that's my point. The participators don't take the spectators for granted.
Okay, anything else you're looking forward to seeing on this parade?
Yeah, just looking like y'all was saying, be so much like Carnival now, like Junkanoo supposed to add on clothes. With we getting like Carnival taking off, then feeling like Carnival. You know, it's so much Carnival, we have plenty work to do.
Okay. All right. Thanks for calling, man. Thanks for calling. If you want to chime in on this conversation, give us a call. Talk to us, 325-5404, 1242-300-8255. We're talking about Junkanoo, Bay Street. We're going back. What do you want to see? What are you looking forward to seeing in these upcoming parades? Before we went to a break, Ronald, we started to talk about music. We started to talk about music. We started to talk about some of the influences that we're seeing creeping into the Junkanoo music. Even in some of the backlines and the brass sections or whatever that we're seeing. My question to you is that do you think that a lot of the practitioners, wherever it is in the back line, understand the unique sound that we have with Junkanoo?
No, 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 they don't. And that's part of the overall problem of Junkanoo, not just from the music, but from the costume perspective. And that's what we were talking about earlier.
Mhm.
Many of them participating today do not know that yesteryear and that history, because half of them just reached. They came into Junkanoo and they were taught what they are practicing. The skills and the ways of old were not a part of their coming into Junkanoo. And I go back to the junior Junkanoo being the feeder system. They were not taught that in the junior Junkanoo. As a matter of fact, in junior Junkanoo, I placed an indictment on junior Junkanoo because they were not learning Junkanoo, period. Most of those schools brought in outsiders to prepare the costume for children. The children, for the most part, didn't have hands-on in the construction of those costumes. They contracted the costumes for the children. When Lyford Key came in Junior Junkanoo, Lyford Key put all of them to shame because you could see that the Lyford Key and the schools from the islands, Andros and Eleuthera and them, you could see that the handiwork was done by children, those students. Whereas opposed to Nassau, it was Bay Street costuming, man. You know,
I got you.
so
I got you.
we did an injustice to the development of Junkanoo in the junior Junkanoo program here in Nassau because we farmed it out. We didn't teach the children to cut and to paste and whatnot. That's why we got this big problem we got today, man.
Oh boy, look who joining us, man. Chairman, that's you.
Boy, this was left.
Good morning, man.
Ellie got like 5 minutes, barely checking in on you, my brother. All is well?
Yeah, man. We got everybody. We chiming in on we getting the feedback for what we want, what we expected to see on Bay Street upcoming Boxing Day and New Year's, man. What you looking forward to seeing?
What I looking forward to seeing? I just really looking forward to seeing everybody come together because it's going to be the first time that we would have been on Bay Street in what 2-3 years. I'm looking forward more so not necessarily to Bay Street, but I'm looking forward to George Street and Elizabeth Avenue.
Yeah,
you know, and that's to me that's where you really get to see your friends.
Yeah, that's the heart and soul of Junkanoo right there. That's the heart and soul of Junkanoo. We call it the whole.
Hey, Ronald, sharing Kool-Aid and talking smart.
Hey, see, you know what I'm talking about. I'm taking a walk down through Queen Street or something, eh?
But Queen Street, you know how that party goes, right? But to me, going to Bay Street isn't really about what happens on Bay Street. It's what happens prior to being on Bay Street, what happens after being on Bay Street.
Yes.
And I think that's what a lot of our spectators don't get to see and can't appreciate, because regardless of which group you're with, man, we all one.
Yeah.
And you know what? We have to make a conscious effort to document what happens in the whole, what happens as we prepare to assemble there by Christ Church Cathedral, and what happens when we have spent all that energy coming down Bay Street and we get in the parking lot on Elizabeth Avenue. We have to begin to do that, man.
Ronald, let's make that a project, my brother. But we have to do it because to me, that's Junkanoo at this point in my life. To me, you know what I mean. But that's a part of the parade to me. You know what I mean. And that's pure love. That's pure love right up and down.
If I remember, Raphael Munnings from New Star Video had made an attempt to do that some years ago. I have to speak with him and see where he is on that, and expand that if he did anything on it, and see where we can take it, because that would make a wonderful documentary.
And the
aftermath.
And it can't even be staged. I think it really has to be just like
how it happens. How it happens.
Yeah, like wearing real, like wearing body cam, right? That way you really get to see it and experience the energy of it, And yeah. Boy, I want to say something this morning, but I can't say it. But boy, yeah, but that goes back to the conversation we started out this week. But
Okay.
we just have to be very deliberate in how we celebrate this thing we call Junkanoo, because there will be people who will come and try to change what we have to make us what we are not. And that is very serious and that's very personal, particularly to me, because, I just believe that we have, Jesus the Lord, anyway, we just have so much to preserve and not make it purely about commerce, although commerce will have its place. But I just believe that we can't just go down the road of making a dollar and sacrifice who we are as a result of that. Now, and that's the best way I could put that at this point.
Okay. I got you there. I think one of the things that needs to be passed down to Ronald and Bastian is that camaraderie that, and I want to use this term carefully, you older guys do have. George, see, saying foolishness. All right. well, the people. Why I'm saying that is because you guys talk about the camaraderie that happens through, Queen Street, Elizabeth Avenue, by the church or whatever. And when you look at, like, for the people who are in your generation, coming down to the parades and even getting to the parades, that competition really doesn't happen until you on the route. All in between is like, but we here to have fun. And even on the route, you're there to have fun. And I think the newer or the younger kids have not realized that yet.
You know something, Farrington? Listen to me. Even on Bay Street, I like to see my quote unquote competitor at his best, and I want to celebrate. I want to look at say, wait, that was tricky. Hey, what a sec, I like that. You know what I mean? I like the way you all arrange this. I like the effort you all put into this. Or and pick out particular things that were impressive to you, and then be man enough or woman enough to say, "Boy, that was nice. I like that," because it has to be, to me, this whole phenomenon called Junkanoo has to be about a celebration of our excellence, right? Because we all have our own things to celebrate, but it has to be about how we celebrate the excellence that we see in each other. And that is a huge deal for me at this point in my life, as in relations to Junkanoo and even the human spirit. So that's big for me. Period.
And you talk about the human spirit. Darren, the younger Darren, you know what is the first thing that happens for us when we go to Bay Street? No. We go look for each other and say Merry Christmas, boy.
Yeah, exactly.
And that parade is secondary.
Exactly.
We are mixing and mingling before we put on our respective costumes to go try beat up the next one. That's the aftermath, man. And when we do that lap, then we come off of that Bay Street and we get in that Elizabeth Estate parking lot. But you better come have one with me.
Yeah.
Or two.
See, there's no competition in the holes. Absolutely no competition. Darren may say, boy, y'all was crazy just now. Y'all carry on nasty just now.
Yeah. That's what it is. But see, we have to understand how much passion and how much love is involved in this thing. And we have to be in a position to celebrate it, period. Regardless of who has the most of it, but we have to be in that kind of mindset that, hey, at the end of the day, we're doing this for the greater good than the individual purpose, so to speak. And the younger Junkanoos have to see the senior Junkanoos celebrate in that kind of spirit to understand what this thing is truly about.
See, Bastian, there are some things that are taught and there are some things that are caught. When they see it happening, it resonates. They see it acted out in the front of them.
True,
I like the way you
true.
put
And
that. There are some things that are taught and some things that are caught.
Mm-hmm.
I
You
like
see
that.
that? You see, Dwayne is saying, keep Queen Street a secret. The love through the side streets and the atmosphere before and after from my so-called enemy. Bay
I
Street is the
agree
war
with
zone.
you. You say you talk something, you keep
Yeah,
something.
it's a
keep up.
keep that secret. But and see, when you talk about being man enough to tell your competitor, your friend, boy, you did look good. What it does too is that it sharpens you, because you're able to see the individual uniqueness that makes him excellent in one area, and you're able to use that and learn from that and help propel your excellence in a different area. So that's something that I feel as though it has to be seen more, so a lot of people can realize, yeah, we out there to compete, but at the same time, we helping one another, we learning from one another.
But are we there really to compete, or are we there to celebrate? Big man, I there to celebrate. Now the competition comes with whatever it is that we say we doing, but I there to celebrate, boss.
I agree.
I there to celebrate. Now them people who come out there to compete, that's fine. Now I will never, I would not tell it. I've never been in that place where competition was essential. But at this point in my life, it ain't important to me. I there to celebrate.
Yeah. And in your celebration, that excellence is exuded. And guess what?
Exactly.
You just might win the competition.
Hello?
How do we spread that message again throughout the rank and file? How do we spread that message? That is about a celebration more than anything else.
Hello?
Oh, yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. Boy,
How do we do that?
I think we have to be I think we just quote unquote we just have to be intentional about it. There has to be an intent. We have to come up and sit down and say, but here's what we're trying to highlight. Here's the message that we're trying to do it, and devise plans. I think it has to be intentional.
But I think some of us understand that. You see, outside Junkanoo, some of us appreciate the relationships that come about as a result of Junkanoo, and the competition never follows us around. If I need something from the government of the Bahamas, one of the agencies of the government of the Bahamas, I call one of my Junkanoo brothers who I know in that agency, whether he's Saxon, Valley, Roots, whoever. I say,
Yeah.
boy, and he delivers for me.
Big
Yeah.
man, that over. That over.
Networking going on, man.
Yeah.
Like I say, Junkanoo is one of the biggest fraternities in this country, we know. I get one of the biggest fraternities. And Ronald is absolutely right. Regardless of which group you rush with, it gets done. Period. Point blank.
That's how it should be, because you understand like you say, the greater purpose of it. Dwayne is saying on Facebook, to my group members and spectators, I hate Darren Bastian, the one family chairman. But on the inside, I pull in for D-Boss, my friend. At the end of the day, love conquers hate.
That's it. That's what it is. That's what it is. That's what it is.
Again, how do we spread that message to the rank and file?
Right.
Darren understand that. I understand that. Ellis understand that, and a few others understand that. But we have to spread that message throughout the family and the Junkanoo community.
Yeah, true. But anyway, guys, I gotta run. Hey, peace and love.
Yeah, man, Bastian. Thanks for dropping in, man.
All right, bro. All right.
All right. Yep. Ronald, I think that's a very poignant question, and I think we need to ponder that. And then I'm gonna bring that up with Arlene and Bastian, and that's probably we're gonna make that a show. How do we get that message out there? How do we do it? And that's something that we really need to think about as a Junkanoo community if we want to see this thing thrive and go on and live on even longer than us, but also get better and better and stronger, because we understand the interwoven threads that actually make this community so strong and what it is. Folks, we're gonna run to our next break. When we get back, we're waiting to hear from you. 325-5404, 325-5404, 1242-300-8255. What are you looking forward to see and enjoy in the upcoming Boxing Day and New Year's Day parades? We'll be right back after this break.
The Ministry of Social Services and Urban Development, in conjunction with the National Emergency Agency, presents the 2022 official hurricane shelters for the islands of the Bahamas.
Eleuthera Central District, Camp Simonet, James Cistern Gregory Town, Church of the Nazarene, Palmetto Point, Emily G. Petty Primary School, Governor's Harbor, George E. Johnson, Hatchet Bay, the Salvation Army, Palmetto Point, Wesley Methodist Church Hall, Palmetto Point, Eleuthera North District, Charles Wesley Methodist Church, Lower Bogue, Mission Church of God, Upper Bogue, New Jerusalem Church, Blackwood, the Current Community Center, the Current, the Haitian Baptist People Church, the Bluff, Zion Methodist Church, Current Island, Eleuthera South District, Church of God of Prophecy, Tarpon Bay, Deep Creek Primary School, Deep Creek, Green Castle Primary School, Green Castle, Rock Sound Primary School, Rock Sound, Whimsy's Bite Primary School, Whimsy's Bite.
Examples of excellence. Although he was born and lived in Fox Hill all his life, Maurice Tynes got his Junkanoo start with the Saxons in 1986. Maurice teamed up with others to form the Fox Hill Congos, and thus began the glory days of Junkanoo in that historic community. In 1998, with Leonard Laddie Bain chosen as the leader, Maurice assumed the position of group manager and harkened back to his roots to rally the Fox Hill community around the group. These were exciting days in Fox Hill with their own Junkanoo group, the Fox Hill Congos, and at the center of it, one of the pillars, Maurice Tynes, known for his high standards and team spirit, which led to phenomenal growth in a few short years. A strongly principled Christian man, Maurice Tynes, the distinguished former chief clerk of the House of Assembly and former chairman of the Fox Hill Festival Committee, continues to have a tremendous impact on his community. Maurice Tynes, this week's inductee into the Junkanoo 242 Shot of Excellence. Welcome back. You're tuning in to Junkanoo 242, and we want to hear from you this week. We are talking, it's an open line, and we're talking some of the things that what are you looking forward to? What do you want to see when you get on Bay Street? When the parades turn Boxing Day and New Year's Day, what are you anticipating? Where are your eyes going? What do you want to feel? What are you expecting? Call in, let's talk. 325-5404, 325-5404, and our toll free from the Family of Islands, 1242-300-8255.
Someone who do not want to be on air called to say they want to make sure they get the seat that they pay for when they get to Bay Street.
Oh boy.
I'm not sure what's going on there. But
oh boy. There has been some challenges with seating in the past. People showing up on somebody sitting in their seat or it's been an issue when the seats are issued, and I think it's something that has to be dealt with. One of the things that has to be addressed is just the I would say the policing and the governing of those seats. So when you show up, regardless of what time you show up, I pay for the seat. This is my seat. This is where I need to be.
No,
Of course, go ahead.
the seating is a responsibility of the JCNP. Yes, they
No,
sell the tickets, right?
we sell the tickets. The JCNP sells the tickets.
Mhm.
However, the marshaling of those seats and the arrangements are in partnership with the ministry. So they are responsible for the people who actually take your tickets and actually put people in those seats.
So where's the breakdown happening? If I spend my money with the JCNP to buy my ticket, the JCNP responsible for my seat. I don't care who the marshal
I,
is.
and I agree wholeheartedly there, and this is something that is being worked on with the agreement, the written agreement between the ministry and the JCMP that is actually being performed now. One of the things is that there is an agreement between the ministry and the JCMP, and there's some things that needs to be actually ironed out and actually put in writing, so who's responsible for what. And with that being said, you can actually track where the breakdown is and actually take responsibility for it and see how it can change. And not, I like to tell them, if it isn't in writing, then I have a problem with it because I can't manage it. I
Yeah.
can't track it, and then I can't hold that person responsible for what needs to happen. So you're right, Ronald. If you pay an organization, I'm coming back to that organization,
Yeah. Yeah.
when I have a problem.
So
Angelica,
JCNP is aware then, you're saying that JCNP is aware of the issue and is working to resolve it.
yes, most definitely. Most
Okay.
definitely. One of the things Angelique is speaking, she's hoping to see. She says one day, I don't. She knows it's not going to be this day, but she wants to see the parades broken up in different divisions. Whereas you have one day is Division A, and then the next day a Division B. Um, where both A and B does not parade on the same days. That is her wish list as to what she wants to see getting back to Bay Street. And I think
And that's a good wish list, but you have to think about the financial implications of that in the first instance. That's a big nut to have to swallow to manage another parade at another time. There are many expenses related to that.
correct, you are correct. And but I think her point behind that is too is making it more of like a festival. So whereas you don't have, you could spread out the whole Junkanoo experience over a longer time period instead of it just being on a Boxing Day. I think
No,
that's one of the things.
I certainly appreciate where she's coming from, and I see I hope that one day down the road we could get to that. But we got a problem right now managing one parade. Imagine trying to manage a festival unfunded. But I do agree we need to get there.
Yes, that is something we want to look at. I wanna visit your point. Before Bastian came in with the music, we were talking about that unique Junkanoo sound, and I wanna go inside your musical, background and expertise per se, that I know you hold. We were talking about that unique Junkanoo sound. How do we? I want to see if I can express this properly. How do we get practitioners to understand that this sound is unique? And even though, it's, I like to say it's like how jazz has cadence to it, and Latin has cadence to it. Junkanoo music has a particular cadence and sound and rhythm and feel to it. If
Yes.
I'm incorrect, let me know, please.
No, you're absolutely correct. It is a distinctive sound with those cadences that you are alluding to. What we are doing with the music of Junkanoo is the same thing we've done with the costuming of Junkanoo. We're getting far removed from the basis and the origin of the music.
Mm,
Junkanoo music is a percussive music. The rhythm of Junkanoo is what makes the music. Now it's dominated by horns. And the whole everybody's gung ho about the horns in Junkanoo now, which should only have been gravy on top of the rhythms, but now it's the dominant force. And that's why we losing out, man. The
Wow.
rhythm is not the rhythm ain't the thing no more. It's what the horns doing. And like I said, the horns is marching band music. If you listen to listen to Junkanoo music from the 1970s, 80s, and compare it to Junkanoo music of today, it's a totally different kind of thing, man. Totally different.
Now here's your question, Ronald. How do we get people to recognize that our sound is a different, unique sound that we need to embrace?
It goes right back to the education. It goes right back to the education and what we didn't give them when we brought them in or when they came in. We didn't give them the foundation. Now, again, I say the quality of the brass music in Junkanoo over the years have improved tremendously. And Junkanoo has caused many
Yes.
young men to be able to go off and get an education and bring their skills back to the country, whether by way of practicing in the school rooms or practicing in the communities or practicing in Junkanoo.
Yeah.
It has certainly helped tremendously to raise the level and standard of what's happening. But we got to go back to the roots. We got to go back to the roots and find that cadence, become aware of that cadence and that rhythm and that whole music of Junkanoo. And we got to go there, or we can lose it just like we losing the costume and we losing the spirit of Junkanoo.
Because you're running away from your uniqueness. What makes you you? Boy, this is a good topic. Do you feel and what makes you unique, Ronald, is that you perform on the stage with Bahamian music and in Junkanoo. Do you feel as though we have I want to say this properly, is that we should be creating more Bahamian music or seeing more Bahamian music coming from Junkanoo organizations because of the expertise that these brass sections have and the musicians per se. They're in band. They're creating bands and all that. Should we be seeing more music coming from them?
Mind
Original
you,
music?
I was just having a conversation with a gentleman yesterday, and we got a caller on the line. And we were talking pretty much along the same lines. Because you're good don't mean you're creative, You see, being good is totally different from being able to create. So I believe that the many talented arrangers in Junkanoo, they arrange very well. I don't know their creative abilities, the ability that they may have to create a new piece of music. I'm sure some of them perhaps have that ability, have not practiced it. I don't know what they're waiting on, because I long to see the day that I think there's too much repetition in the music of the present day performers. It takes too long for an artist. And when I say an artist, I'm not just talking about Junkanoo. I'm talking about across the board Bahamian artists. Except for KB, who's always got something out new, or D-Mark, who's always got something out new. Too many of our artists been singing the same song for 200 years. Okay? Ain't doing nothing new. And I get tired of hearing the same thing every time I go put on an event. And so I believe the creative side, and you don't have to be an artist to be creative. Somebody else could create, and you
they could write for you.
Yeah, And so we have to begin to learn how to pool resources. Okay, you can arrange, but you can't write. Get somebody who would write. You arrange it. Same mission accomplished. And I think that's the point we have to get to. There's this sense of selfishness in too many of us that causes not to want to be able to come together and work in harmony to create what it is we need to create. Now, there's a misconception about Junkanoo music that I think we need to cause people to understand. Okay? We say a lot of people say from time to time that we play American music or we play reggae music or we play soca music
I
and
got
things.
you.
That's foolishness. When it comes to Junkanoo, we don't play nothing but Bahamian music. We play Junkanoo music. We may take some melodies that are familiar to the listener and made popular by a soca person or an American musician or a European or whatever. But we use our indigenous rhythms and we take those melodies and adapt it to our rhythms. So we are in fact playing Bahamian music. We ain't playing no reggae, no American music or bass. We playing Junkanoo music. So y'all need to get that understanding first and foremost. Okay? The melody you know from somewhere else. But when we adapt that melody to our rhythms, we're playing our rhythms. We're playing our
Thanks.
music.
Thanks for that education. Let's run to the phone call. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning. Junkanoo Talk. What's happening?
Good morning. We're good, man. How you doing?
Good, sir. Ronald Sims, go to the head of the class. You're the smartest person in the Junkanoo world. I just got a call and comment on the music. People say, what type of music you play in Junkanoo? Once it's played on Bay Street during the Junkanoo season, it's Junkanoo music.
Yes, it is, because we don't change
I
the
want to
rhythms.
stray a little. How long does a professional player plays in college league before he goes to the NBA? He's a professional. He becomes a professional. He wins every category in the college league. Do they keep him there, or do they then promote him to the NBA?
It's a process.
It is a process.
Yeah.
So do you think Colors have already did the process to go into the A category and make space for some other B groups now to show that the true colors?
No,
Let's appreciate. Let's appreciate in the first instance. Go ahead, Darren. Go ahead. Darren.
I think one has nothing to do with the next. The person who is in a college level is at collegiate level, and being at collegiate level, you now transfer into professional. I think what you're doing is mixing apples and oranges. And what my analogy to that is different is that if you're a welterweight boxer, just because you're dominating welterweight doesn't mean that you have to go to the next class. You stay in your weight because that's your division that you chose to be in. You see what I'm saying? You're still a professional.
Okay.
You don't have to move to heavyweight. And so the onus is not, and I want to be correct in doing this, the onus is not, quote unquote, trying to dethrone them by moving them out of the division. What needs to happen is that the people who are not winning needs to find out what they're doing and raise their standards to get to win that title. You don't agree in that regard?
Yeah. But I went on this. I also went on, okay, let me switch it a little. I know I have a little limited time. Let me switch it a little. Why don't we have a setting? If you were to win 10 consecutive parades in a B category, you shouldn't be there. That means there's no competition for you there. You need to go up into the competition.
Why not?
Why should you be there?
You shouldn't be there.
Why? Because nobody could beat you?
That's how it seems. After AG them gone and Genesis came one time and shake them up. That was but it.
If nobody could beat me, there is a loud statement being made.
Exactly. The problem is not the winner.
Y'all need to go pull up your socks and go do what I doing to get to this level. It ain't my business if I beating you up every year. Y'all let me beat you up.
But Brother Sims, I gotta let you go on this last note right here. What I have to say.
Yes, sir.
I have seen my sight is now leaving me. So when I used to go to Junkanoo,
okay,
I used to participate with Phil, Redland Soldier.
Okay.
I used to be with Phil.
Mm-hmm. Fill the bill.
Yeah, man. Fill the bill. Started with my brother, Ken Motorboat Ferguson.
Okay.
Yeah. You were down to Freeport with him once or twice too.
Oh, many years.
You and some of the Wally boys, Doll Burrows and Les Johnson and Dribs and those.
No, many years we rushed with Bo down and Freeport.
Yes, sir. Then we broke out from the swingers and started the classic dancing.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. But what I want to say is that I saw a parade that I honestly saw. I try to be honest in everything I do. I saw a parade, right? Honestly saw it. Color should have run third.
Uh-huh.
behind Foxtail Congos and Redland Soldiers.
Now, hold on right there. The same way you saw that parade from your perspective,
Yeah.
the other judges saw it
Did
from
not.
their perspective and gave colors the win.
Yeah. But colors is not really, colors don't rush. Colors are more like a marching something. They don't really Junkanoo, they don't rush. Like how you see one family and Wally them be all over the road rush. They rush on a line. You can't rush on a line.
So your issue is with colors.
You
this
got to
morning.
rush.
You have an issue with colors.
I don't
Not
think
so
it's.
much Junkanoo, but colors.
Yeah, because something is wrong.
What's wrong? What's wrong?
The judging is something is wrong.
I don't think the problem is the winner. I think, and I always tell people this is that when you're in a competition, right? When you're in a competition and there's a call in jeopardy or there's a call to be made, 9 out of 10 times the call favors the champion. Okay, because 9 out of 10 times the call favors the champion. Why? Because they put in that time. Okay. One of the things that is what is lacking in quote unquote the B division is consistency. That's one of the things that is lacking. When you look at a lot of the groups that run second or don't beat colors, when you look at the costuming, this person have on a basketball pants, this one have on a hat, no skirt, no this, no that. And these are the things that you have to look at if you want to dethrone the champion.
I understand that.
You must leave no question as to who won the parade.
No, but I must say to you, colors, not usually, they really be uniform. You must give it to them.
Let me say
They
this.
be uniform. But I got to say this in closing. You talk about consistency. There's no group, I think right now, has a better consistency record than Redland Soldiers. Why colors is not going into Fox's Sunday night? That's supposed to be the champion.
That's their choice.
Yeah, but that's a bad choice.
No, that's not.
No, what? They may have other commitments. You don't know their schedule.
Let me say this about colors, and I say this loudly and I say it publicly for every Junkanoo organization in this country to hear. I hold no brief for colors.
No.
But when it comes to reliability and it comes to discipline and it comes to punctuality and it comes to professionalism, as a producer of entertainment in this country, when I want Junkanoo, I go to colors because I ain't got time for them other groups' foolishness. They're too indisciplined. And I wish that every group in this country could take pattern after colors and conduct themselves in the way colors do.
Now, I can say this and I ain't going to hang up. I think colors took a page out of the Wally Boys book.
Okay then, well, there you have it.
The discipline group.
Mm-hmm.
I remember one time I go on to try rush with the Wally Boys. Got scooped. That's when they first had that shark they started that shark in the back of the mall.
Yeah, okay.
And I was a big Junkanoo coming out of Freeport with my brother winning best costume. He can tell me I got to sweep the shark floor.
You gotta go through the ropes, man.
And that's before root stem. It wasn't root stem. There was 4 stems.
Now, see, you hit on something. Darren, we were talking earlier about we didn't put them through the schooling. We didn't show them the way of Junkanoo. Mm-hmm. That was a part of the way. You don't come here and talk what you're going to do nothing. There's a process you have to go through.
Well, and then when you're pacing, you see Gus and Doyle them come around, you start trembling.
Yeah.
You're scared. Man, you know how long it takes me before I pace on the front lead costume for Jim Brown?
I
had to start from the back.
You come
Me and
out of
Kevin, his brother.
You come out of good school.
Start from the back. I tell you, all of them rushed with my brother here in Nassau Motorboat.
Okay.
So I ain't just get into this. I just back out now because of my condition.
Well, how was your sight?
Well, I'm going to do an operation maybe next week. The place that I'm going, they only do surgeries on Thursdays.
Okay.
I was there already, scheduled to do surgery, but my sugar was too high.
Uh-huh.
And the gentleman told me if he put me to sleep, I might wake back up. I tell him that's all right, I coming back.
We certainly want to wish you success with
that
surgery, and all the best to you, man.
Thanks for your input, man. Thanks for your input. Folks, we're going to run to our final break. That was an exciting call, man. A lot of things to discuss here. What are you expecting to see when you get to Bay Street? What are you anticipating? We're running to our final break. We'll be right back on the next side of this break.
Ministry of Social Services and Urban Development, in conjunction with the National Emergency Agency, presents the 2022 official hurricane shelters for the islands of the Bahamas. Exuma, Bethel Union Baptist Church, Ramsey, Calvary Mission Baptist Church, Rollville, Ebenezer Union Baptist Church, Farmers Hill, Ebenezer Union Baptist Church, Barry Tarry, Exuma Resource Center, Hoopers Bay, Gethsemane Baptist Church, Black Point, Mount Hermon Union Baptist Church, Mount Thompson, Mount Sinai Union Baptist Church, Stuart Manor, Palestine Union Baptist Church, The Forest, St. Andrew's Community Center, Georgetown, St. Luke's Baptist Church and or Airport Terminal, Black Point, St. Margaret's Anglican Church, Hearts, Stevenson, St. Mary's Magdalene Anglican Church, Williamstown, St. Matthew's Union Baptist Church, The Ferry, St. Teresa's Catholic Church, Georgetown.
And now for news off the shack wall. Happy birthday greetings to all celebrating in the upcoming week. We wish you all a happy and a blessed new year. Condolences to all families who are grieving loved ones at this time. Our hearts and our prayers are with you. The countdown. It is Saturday, July the 30th. We are 21 hopeful weeks away from Bay. And with that being said, folks, 21 weeks, 21 hopeful weeks from being back in the big dance, taking those teams out the shack with Ronald them been working on for about 2 years and put them on the road again. And we just want to know, what are you guys anticipating? What are you ladies anticipating and seeing? What are you clamoring for? What you can't wait to feel once those Boxing Day and New Year's Day parades are back on the road? What is good for you? That was a very exciting call we had, Ronald. Very interesting points that he raised with a champion. I would say dominating a category, but it leaves a lot to be discussed, and also some groups need to learn. I would say learn some things from the person that's winning in my respectively. Just being respectful about it.
They're obviously doing something right. They've been able to dominate all this time.
Yeah, and Arlene says something. She said the mark of a champion is consistency. And when you look at somebody that's consistently in the money, consistently winning, yeah, they might be your competitor, but you can learn from everybody. And regardless of how you may view it or what was called, you learn and you continuously build on it, and eventually you'll be sitting on the throne that they once had.
Yeah. It takes a degree of commitment to excellence to be able to do what they're doing. They're always consistent in their presentation. You look at colors from front to back, they are complete. The presentation organized and it's systematic, and you got to give them their dues for it, and it shows in the results every year.
Yeah, and it's all about when you look in the Junkanoo world in various different categories, or where it is A, B, when you look at costuming, when you look at music, when you look at various different things, there are groups who hold on certain categories stronger because that's their strong points. And to beat them in a particular area, you gotta be like almost flawless because they have learned to actually become the experts in those arenas. And I think it's just something that everybody can learn from. It doesn't mean, oh, because you didn't win so much lead costume, you can't compete in the lead costume category any longer. I don't think that is, it's fitting for what
And
Junkanoo provides.
like I say, from a professional point of view, I prefer to work with colors any day of the week over anybody else. Volley, my group, or anybody else. Because when it comes to professionalism, they deliver. You ain't got to worry if they can be on time. They can be there. You ain't got to worry if they coming through the paper place, licking off cowbell and ringing drum and stuff. They coming through quietly, disciplined. I love the experiences that I've had with them, whether locally or internationally traveling with them. An
That's good.
amazing group. Give them
That's
their
good.
props.
And yeah, and it says a lot. It says a lot, and we all could learn from these things in and out of competition. You can learn, like you say, you can learn from these things on how you conduct your organization, because it's not always getting to Bay Street. It's sometimes having a show, or sometimes doing a birthday party, you show a presentation. You show up, you be on time. Here's your standard. Here's what you're here to do. And those disciplines actually are rewarding. They show over. People book you again when you can do that over and repeatedly.
That's right.
So
That's right.
that's something that we need to really just tighten up on, and just take serious note of it for all organizations. Folks, we're talking Boxing Day, New Year's. It's coming up, Boxing Day 2022. I wonder if I got off the Candinique mode again if the Saxons win this Boxing Day parade. My gosh. You could
Oh,
imagine that, Rona?
Oh, you can't take nothing of that. Gotta stop them. Gotta stop them. Gotta
Yes,
close them up.
somebody got to put us up. And she done ready to have motorcade, because she's the defending champion for both Boxing Day and New Year's Day. So it's going to be interesting. I didn't hear you. Did you say?
I say defending champions 2 times over.
Jeez Louise. Oh, we can get on close about when she get in the hole. This could be a long one. Folks, we're talking Boxing Day 2022. What are you looking forward to seeing on Bay Street from your group, from all the other groups? Who are you looking for seeing coming down the boulevard? New Year's Day, what you're looking forward to as we bring in 2023. Who is going to take the title? What are the things you just want to experience there? We spoke about music. We spoke about costuming. We spoke about themes. Some things we want to see. Some things we're hoping to see. One of the things I look forward to, and I know it's going to be a spectacular, presentation from all organizations, is the choreograph section, Ronald. The choreograph section is right now, I think, at any morning, in any division, any group can win choreograph girls.
Yeah.
And it is something that we've seen. The standards have really come up in terms of how their routines are put together, the things that they're doing in there, their presentation, even their costuming, has become tailored to them and what they're doing in their moves, and that's going to be an exciting presentation that we see.
And kudos to them. They've all followed the standards set by that group.
Yes, definitely, they've worked hard for it. Folks, guess what? We are at the end of another Saturday in the V-Shack. It has been, a splendid time discussing what we're looking forward to on Boxing Day and New Year's. And next week, Saturday, we're going to have another exciting show. But before we get to that, is Junkanoo Summerfest on Awaki. What time does the performances start on Awaki, Ronald?
Junkanoo Summerfest run from noon to midnight, but we go live with entertainment beginning at 3 o'clock this afternoon. And today's entertainment will feature the Royal Bahamas Police Force Band, Ambassa, Lady E, Rick Carey, D-Mac, the Saxon Superstars, and a host of others. But it's all on, and that is, of course, mixed with food demonstrations and beverage demonstrations and craft demonstrations and Junkanoo demonstrations. It's a great time. It's a great time.
Yes. And folks, Monday morning, 12 a.m., Fox Hill. Be there. The parade starts. The Fox Hill rush out. Be there as we bring in and usher in Emancipation holiday. We're going to be there, man. Junkanoo 242. This has been another exciting Saturday. I've had fun with you, Ronald, being
Yes,
my in studio co-host.
we make
It's
it
all
work. The show go on.
yeah, man. It's all about us and all about you in the 242. And let everything we do show that we are all proud to be
Bahamian.
Bahamian. We'll see you next week.